So next is with GST, what will change is what we will see. Technology is going to be the major player for every stakeholder under the GST regime. Okay, and for the first time you will see, though we have this B2G. What is G stands for? Government, right? So though we have this connect of business to government and all those things, you will now see, since we had mentioned earlier that it is going to be transaction based technology driven system, right? So now you will really have this digital connect between the B2G. So what happens? All your purchase record and your inward supply record and outward supply record is now available on the GSTN, which is your GST portal. Government has got visibility, right? So every information is available there now. So now you will get this thing, any problem is there, you need to reconcile this. So everything is now available in the central server. What else is left? 90% of your books of account is only purchase, sale, debit note, credit note and all those things. Maybe another 15 to 20% is what is going to be your payment receipt and all those things. Your books of account is also ready. Okay, so this is one. Then we had said that it is end-to-end technology driven system. We would have, by this time we would have realized, right, GSTR 1, 1A, 2A, 2, 3, 3A, right, the intensity of the time that is required for you to now reconcile and match is very important, right? So this is what is the end-to-end. I mean, right from the inception to till it reaches and your end customer, this whole thing is going to be tracked for every dealers. Okay, GST compliance rating. What is the GST compliance rating? Now we were talking about, this is again a very good thing that is going to happen. If you apply for a loan, I'm just trying to give you a comparison kind of thing. If you are applying for a loan, the banker, what is the first report that he sees? CIBIL report, right? Under GST, this is what is called as CIBIL report. Why the CIBIL report is required? Now I said Arvind, right? So he did not pay the tax and then he did not file the return. 1000 rupees gaya. Next time will I go to him? Right? Now, okay, I have at least experience. Now I don't want another 75 people to have the same experience with Arvind what I had. So how will you know? Like I said, he is a very nice person. I'm just taking an example, right? How will you know that this person is not complying, and how do you now make sure that your cash flow is taken care of? So what the GST says that, you know, they will now bring, this is why we said this technology driven is very important. So what they are saying, based on your pattern of your compliance that is going to happen, each of the dealer now how, why, how, I mean, why is okay, how we still don't know, we will get more clarity on that. But then it will give you the rating. So now it becomes very big, and this is going to be really helpful. Otherwise, all the small dealers are going to die, right? You, I mean, like, you know, let's say I come and buy something from you, I come and see your shop. I mean, the spider webs are there. Looks like for 6 months, 9 months, you have not even cleaned your spider web. Now, will I have the confidence that will you pay the output tax? It's going to be very difficult. But then now, let the spider be there, or let my shop be one 200-year-old building, but then my credit rating is on top. People will stand in the queue. See, this is one way of protecting the dealer from loss of cash flow. Okay. Next, what are the processes? Right. So this is going to be mostly transaction focused. We have seen this, right? Transparency from the grassroots level. You as a registered dealer, you thought the composition dealer in any case will not have to submit any bills and all those things. You did not upload the sales return. You said 10-20,000 rupees my liability, let me reduce. After 3 months, this guy is going to do it, right? You will be open, right? So this is what basically we are talking about, transparency at the grassroots level for every business records. The matching concept, which we talked about, ITR, right? The input tax credit, ITC 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, what we saw, which is the matching concept, is what will now This is going to be again an additional thing. See, today when I am filing my VAT return, these complications are not there. Right? Tomorrow these complications are going to come. Right? So which means you have to now triangulate. One is that you have to now triangulate your books of account within your system with the transaction that is there, and the transaction should match your return. That's your first check and balance. The second check and balance will come because of both the fellows are now going to communicate through the portal. Right? That's your second check and balance. Okay? Rectification of error and omission, whatever error omission is there. See, time is going to go. Time is money. Right? So we need to now see what business process change or what is the infrastructure change that you people have to be prepared for GST. Very important. Then reconciling of the return with your books. Okay. Discipline, yes, you have to file on time return. Not that he is going to pull me along with him into the well, or he is not going to push me into the well, he is also going into the well. Because if he is not filing the return and making the payment on time, he will not get input tax credit. Right? So the discipline is now, whatever is the time that has been specified, forget about the late fee. Right? So you have to now make sure that these things are going to happen and no facility of revised return. Okay? On time payment. If these two things are not applicable, there is a hit in the cash flow. Okay? Then interest on disputed credit. Okay, whatever is the disputed credit which is there, even after the specified time, if it is getting adjusted, then you need to now pay interest towards your provisional, the date of provisional input tax credit that you have taken and the date on which the ITC gets cleared. Okay, so that difference amount, the interest will be paid. And the other cases where it is not done, you pay back the money what you have claimed as input tax credit and also pay interest. Probably less scope for kacha bill and less scope for pakka bill going missing. Right? Many times what happens, pakka bill goes missing. Right? So that is also taken care here. VAT only dealer under GST, the VAT only dealer is now getting exposed, okay, to the manufacturing part. Right? Earlier I was only a VAT dealer, I was manufacturing because my exemption limit was 1.5 crore. I was not under excise. Today my threshold limit is 20 lakhs. So now I am a manufacturer. Now again probably the rule will say what are the kind of, in excise we know what are the kind of registers that we are maintaining. Now the rule, the law at least currently does not specify, but then it says as prescribed, as being notified, everything is there, but we will have to now see what are all the different kind of registers that you need to now maintain, which is going to be additional. Just now see, your client, he is a manufacturer, he is not covered under excise, your life is easy. You are only filing his VAT return. Tomorrow, you have to make sure that you understand the existing law of excise, right? And you need to adhere to whatever is those additional registers that you have to maintain because you are a manufacturer. Okay? That's the risk. So this is what I am saying, that one as a VAT dealer and also as a tax consultant, also as a tax professional. Okay, what are the areas that I should be now looking into such that I am well prepared before it hits me. Okay. Okay, let's take the current client profile. I think this more or less we have discussed this. Let me just run through this. So you have broadly two kinds of clients, right? One is a B2B client. So generally when we say a B2B client, which means basically he is going to be he is going to be a regular dealer, because if he is a B2B client and if he is not claiming input tax credit, he is not going to be competitive in the market. He has to be under regular scheme. And you have this B2C client. Mostly what are they? Mostly the B2C client is going to be your composition dealer, like your restaurants and all those things. 95% of your clients will be under composition scheme. Right? So this is your two broad category of the client base that you have. Right? And now from these two broad base of clients that you have, what are the kind of compliance records that this client is going to maintain? What are the different set of people that you will see within these two broad categories? Okay. Number one is that there are clients who is going to fully outsource. ನೀವೇ ದೇವರು 20ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕೋ ಮಾಡಿ. 10ನೇ ಇದು GST ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಈಗ 20ಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರೋ ಮಾಡಿ. ರೈಟ್. ನೌ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ನಾ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾ ಉದರ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲೂ ಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. And I'm sure the kind of trouble that we would have gone through, because even I used to file sales tax return those days manual, everything manual. The only technology that I had at that point of time is calculator, right? The form 3, okay, and then the delivery challan, what is it, form 27, form 39. So I used to spend days together to fill up on register and go to the this department. I used to go and sit there for days together to get one form 39 book. On seal ಹೊಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ 25 ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲ. Right, so I'm saying partially thing is again is going to be a problem for you. Right? You will have to keep asking questions, you will have to keep clarifying, it is going to be time. Currently I have struggled with this partial. Full at least is okay for me. He will give me some 250 purchase bill and he will give me 25 sale bill. When I add up all the purchase, it will be 250 lakh. When I add up all the sale, it will be only 25 lakh. Sir, ನೀವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? We have all gone through this, right? Only thing is you are not openly coming out. And I am sure that no tax officer is sitting here. Otherwise he is going to kill me. Okay, so now partially outsourced, now fully maintained by the client. Even though the client is maintaining fully, even today you have clients where you go to their client's place and then verify. Until and unless you don't put your chapa, until and unless you don't say yes this is okay, the client is not going to file the return. You have scenario that way also, right? So these are broadly, right? Anything is missed out? Because I am old wine, 1983. There are some new people who are into this new thing. Is there anything missing? Broadly I am covering this. Right. Now let us see what is going to be your current compliance pattern. We'll take only the case of VAT scenario, because I'm sure that most of you are only handling, majority of your clients is going to be VAT, maybe to an extent service tax, very little excise. How many of you have excise dealers? Excise clients with excise? One. Negligible. Right. So now we will just see filing of your annexure, which is form 100, and 4 or 5 annexure that is going to be applicable on a monthly basis. So now we are going to see your life. How does your life looks today? Right. So I am going to now forecast your life. I know your kundli, so I am just telling, because I also was part of you. Right. And this is one. Now before this, 2 years back we were doing pilot on tax consultant. I think many of you know about this, and then we had conducted trainings and all those things. We did some events and a lot of things we did. So at that time we were creating the personas of the of you people. We took about 20-25 personas, and then we were asking them, how does a day in your life looks like? So he said, many of them, they said, I am working minimum 13 to 15 hours daily. Yes or no? Minimum, right? No private life, right? Very difficult. And one of the person, when I was talking, he said, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಏನ್ರಿ ರೀ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನೆಂಟರು ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರೂ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ರೀ. That used to be the thing. Right. So now keep this. I am coming back and finishing with the GST statement. Right. Now from 1st to 5th of the subsequent month, how many of your clients are religiously coming and giving you the information? Is it 0 to 5 or 0? 0. 0. See, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, from 6th to 10th, between 6th to 10th of the subsequent month, but somewhere between 6 to 15%. Huh? Then from 11th to 15th, maybe up to 30% of your client will be there. And from 16th to 20th is what bulk of them. And out of this 50%, 90% is 20th morning or 20th afternoon. Correct? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಸೇಸ್, ಏನು ಸರ್ ನಮಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ ಐ ಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, 12 o'clock ಡೇ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, 11:59 ನೀವು ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಲುಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ one return. Just imagine your excise duty return service, and somebody during the break was asking, what will happen to my other thing, service tax and other thing, like, or income tax, filing of income tax, what is going to happen? That is why we are having this session today, and that's why we said, even though you are busy with this income tax work, it is very important for you people to know what is future lying and how you should be prepared for the future. Okay? So this is the scenario, right? Now under GST compliance, we have seen all this thing. 10th, GSTR1. Now with your previous history, can you change your client overnight? Hey, ಹೋಗ್ರಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹುಚ್ಚಿಡ್ದಿದೆಯಾ? ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮಹಾವ್ಯಾಪಾರ. Exactly. See, now the way the compliance is going to go, you would have already realized all the businesses who are doing currently whatever is their main business will become side business under GST, and main business will become compliance business. Your consultancy business, currently what you are doing under GST, will become bugging business. Kodri 10 ಆಯ್ತು kodri 15 ಆಯ್ತು kodri. Yes or no? So GSTR1, you are going to do outward supply. By 15th, this one. By 16th to 20th, this one. 20th, you have to accept and pay this thing. If you have not done this, then you are going to get GSTR3. You don't know when. On an average, each one of you would have, on an average I am saying, on an average you will have about 50 clients. Minimum side average. Now you can calculate. Calculator is available on your mobile. Please calculate and see how much time is going to take. So now what happens, forget about going to the funeral of your relatives. You can't even see your funeral, boss. Forget it. Huh? Now, with all this thing, what is going to happen if you see, ಈಗಾದರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, 16th to 20th ಏನೋ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಮನೆಗೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಏನೋ ಕೆಲವರು ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅವೇಕ್, ಕೆಲವರು ಮಲಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳಗಾದ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಂದೆ ಅಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. GST ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, 10ರಿಂದ 20, 25, 23 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಷ್ಟರೊಳಗಡೆ 10 ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಈ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು. ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 10 ಜುಲೈಗೆ ಮಂತ್ಲಿ 10, ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಲಿ 10, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ರಾತ್ರಿ 11 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೆಲ್ ಹೊಡಿತೀರಾ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಯುವರ್ ಕಿಡ್, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 12 to, no, everybody, most of us will have kids. I am saying between up to 14 years age. Any kid. Currently I am saying. Okay. Now 11:30, 12 o'clock you go ring the bell. The kid will come and open. Then say, Amma, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಮ್ಮ, ಯಾರೋ ತಂದೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. This is what is going to happen if you are not prepared. Right? So what are the challenges? Right? If you take your B2B client, where currently your client is fully outsourcing, right? So what happens? Right? So one is that now, see, now we have a clear idea about GSTR1 and all those things, the timelines we know. So now you have to start relating it. Okay? So now one is that you have to get the record. You have to record. So how are you going to record? 50 clients, right? So if you are not educating your client, if you are not preparing your client, your 50 client under your current regime under GST will become 5 clients. That's all you can service. This is going to be the reality. This is the fact. Right? Very important. How are you going to be prepared for it? Okay. So recording of entry is one, outward, inward supply. Then you have this multi-stage filing, right? 10th, 15th. It is not just 10th, 15th and 20th. 11th to 16th, that inward, outward matching you have to do. 16th to 20th, inward, outward matching again you have to do, because this follows half thing will come on 11th, second half will come on 16th. By 20th, you will look, though you are 20 years, you will look 40 years older than 20 years. That's what is going to happen, right? So this is, then you have to do this reconciliation, amendment, challenges, verification, validation, all these things have to be done. Then time blank during the reconciliation, right? What is the time blank that is going to happen? Then risk of missing deadlines. One client you are doing, then probably now you have a risk of missing the deadline, and now we know the consequences of missing the deadline. This is where I said earlier that the client is now going to put the gun on your head. I have given you all the information. If you are not filing my return, I cannot now bear the cost of input tax credit. I cannot take my cash flow at risk. What does this leads to? It leads to decrease in efficiency and effectiveness. And don't worry, I mean, we are there, right? So that is there, but then I am saying that yes, how this effectiveness, efficiency, it is going to reduce. One, this is going to be the result going forward. Probably somebody was saying, sir was saying that today I have 5 staff, maybe I'll have to increase the staff. How many staff will you increase? It is going to be very difficult. Now, how do we leverage the technology? Okay, what do we do with it? Okay, is what we have to take care of. And then we have this risk of servicing other client, right? So similarly, if you see here, B2B client partially or also, see, more or less, I think you're getting the point what I'm trying to drive home, right? It's very important for us, right? So this is only, I'm just trying to relate to each kind of your client base that you are having. Okay, so more or less this is going to be the same thing, right? So B2C client, B2C client, today life was easy. Right, quarterly return, no problem, life was easy, 1%, 2%, calculate, submitted. But tomorrow, GSTR 4, GSTR 4A, every bill, and once in 3 months, every bill. Right, even a composition dealer, even if you take, say, about 200 bills in a month, 600 bills, you have to sit and do it. Right, so even if you take 30 seconds to go and verify that, right, so you have to spend 300, somewhere between 2 to 3 hours is what you're going to spend, right? Same thing, right? So this is going to see the workload for your composition client under GST. Your workload is going to increase. Okay. See, what is the impact? Oh shit, we are already 9 o'clock. How much time do I have? Up to 9:30 is okay? Okay. Right. So what is going to be, see, this is very important. Next few slides, it is very important for us to understand. First, we need to now see what is going to be the impact of your client. Business process change, right? Which means, basically I said, this is what is the, it's going to be a complete revamp of the business, where I am now providing services, right? Across the state in the country. Right, and then today what is happening, I have only one service tax registration. Wherever in India I can provide service, but under GST now it is going to be the place of service. So probably some of your clients now required to register in every state where they are providing service. So there are additional policies. Due to lack of time, I am not able to give more details of that. Probably we can discuss next time. So just go through it. See, only thing is I am just instigating you people, or I am just motivating you people to get into this. It is too late for us. You have to start working. And very important thing is that how do you educate your client? How do you make sure that your life becomes easier, because you are making your client's life easier. Use the best technology. Okay. So next is that for the organization also, the competency of the organization needs to be I mean, they have to know, no? The existing accountant should understand at least little bit the basic of GST. I mean, he cannot be ignorant. And one very good thing, this is what I started off earlier in this session, that now this is what is once in lifetime opportunity for everybody, right? So for everybody, the GST is like you are starting with a clean slate, right? One single law. Currently, this current draft law is 192 pages. That's all. Maybe you will get one rule, which is going to be another 200 and 250 pages. Your excise law, excise rule, service tax rule, VAT law, VAT rule. If you have clients beyond Karnataka, that VAT rule, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು 20,000 ಪೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಮಲಗ್ಬೋದು ಪಿಲ್ಲೋ ಥರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು. But then this is an opportunity that where you can now start building the competency of, by educating, saying that what is the implication, why deadline is very important under GST, is very important. And now your consultancy for your client, the expectation of the client is going to be much, much higher, because I see you as a client, as my guru, as my guide, correct? So I have to, I mean, I as a guru or a guide, I have to now live to the expectation of my client, right? So this consultancy is what now your client is going to seek. Transitioning, how are you going to help him into transitioning? The first transitioning provision, section 143, says that whatever is the ITC that you are claiming and in your last return, and if that return is accepted by the erstwhile department, then that you will take as an input tax opening credit. ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ವ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನೀನು 25,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಾ, ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ದ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್. Definitely they are going to ask. Government is not going to give you free money. And today's life there is no free lunch, right? So these are the things that we need to be prepared about, and these are the things that we need to educate and make sure that the client is now starts building discipline in his books of account, such that your child, when you ring the bell, he is going to say, Papa, come in, rather than saying, Amma, appan nodake yaro bandidare. Okay, very important. Compliance, right? So you have to now tell them about these compliances. What are these various things? You need to keep guiding them. Okay, the credibility part, right? How can you now tell them that how? See, why credibility part is for him as a input buyer, right? So your client is going to buy from somebody. Tomorrow, if that somebody is not going to adhere to the law, his cash flow is at stake, right? So how do you help him to know this thing? Okay, and that is where he is going to now look upon you as a mentor. Okay, so what is that client needs to do today, right? So what is that you would basically, when I say today, naale belage hod takshana, I mean, like, you don't start firing your client, right? ನಾನು ನೆನ್ನೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಟ್ಯಾಲಿ ಅವರು ಏನೋ GST ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, and don't take the cane and go, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾಡಿದ್ದವರೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ. See, I am saying that we will now slowly bring this thing. See, a change, a person changing without knowing he is changing is the best and the better change that is going to happen in anybody's life, right? So basically I am saying that today, how do you bring this thing? So one is that tell him that your books needs to now 100% match your return. So now these are the pilot that you can run, right? It is going to take, today we are in October, right? October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 months time is there. Now, if he starts maintaining his books of account, matches his books of account 100% with the annexure that he is going to file under VAT today, form 100 that he is going to file, slowly now he will realize the importance of matching the book. So today, unfortunately, in many cases, tally avarantu VAT madala yaru, right? And can you just imagine today, why your books needs to be there? Because our Excel al kodtare, ನೀವು Excel al ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. Life is simpler. But then now, supposing if he is having some stock which is unsold stock, one of the sections says that if you are eligible, you will be eligible for taking input tax credit, though you were not eligible in the earlier law because of the threshold limit. Example, excise manufacturer. I am buying material from excise manufacturer, and I am also an excise manufacturer. He charges me excise duty, but then since I am not registered, I cannot take input tax credit on excise duty. That is going to be my cost. Now, if I am holding that stock, you have to now help me and claiming this stock which I am holding. Currently, what the department says is that up to 1 year, 12 months, you need to have a valid tax invoice. Okay, for 12 months validity, if you are holding any stock in form of raw material, finished goods, semi-finished goods, and if you are eligible to claim input tax credit, and you are not claiming currently because of you are not eligible to register, you can claim it now. Just imagine this, how much of work is there. Okay, now all this Excel purchase sale is going to be, see what I am saying is I am not threatening you people, or I am not scaring you people. I am only just highlighting, saying that what is going to be the problem that you will foresee. Okay? These transactions have to be made right. So take this technology and then start doing it. I am just giving a simple example. In Tally, you make one purchase entry along with the tax stock entry you make, outward entry you make, along with the stock entry you make, you automatically get your closing stock. Okay, go to the closing stock, press F7. You will also know in every transaction what is the gross profit you have made. Right? So now tomorrow anybody wants to ask, maybe you might have to do little bit of effort in trying to identify the purchase value, tax involved, and all those things. But then at least 50%, 60%, 70% of your effort the technology is providing you. So how do you now prepare? How do you prepare this person to be ready for these kind of things? One is definitely he has to match the books of account, which is going to match 100% of the return. Educating your client on the proper compliance is which we were talking about. Okay. Then you have to manage this electronic cash and credit ledger. All right. So reconciliation from the portal. Because today, the moment you go and upload, except I think somebody was saying that I'm getting this, my input tax credit pop-up match this thing. Otherwise, you don't even go. I mean, like every 20th only you go to the portal. Many times because you go only once in a while, you keep forgetting password and you will keep clicking forgot password, forgot password, right? 3 times. So now these are the things, right? So record, you have to now substantiate your record saying that this is what is my closing stock that I am holding. What detail you want, click of a button, you should be in a position to provide. I mean, at least your client needs to provide. Only then you are going to leverage your time and effort. Then transitioning them to the GST. This is what I was talking about. How do you now transitioning them into the GST part? Okay. Opportunities to leverage for you. Subsuming of central and state taxation. So what does this imply? I just now gave this example. Today you are servicing a client who is a manufacturer, but he is not registered under excise, right? Tomorrow he is going to be registered under GST, right? So now even if there is a VAT only person, since the law is single law, you can now start expanding your client base. Can I now add more client who is providing service or supplying service? See, because there is no separate form, timeline is the same. Everything is GSTR 1 to GSTR 9A, 9B, whatever is there. That's all it is. So what is wrong? I mean, like everything. I mean, like the same law says if you are supplying goods or if you are supplying services, this is what you should do. See, life becomes simpler for you. Your competency becomes easier, and with your experience of so many years, understanding law. See, for me, if I am reading this law, it took 2 days. Me and Yarab is my team member. Right, so we were working for 2 days to go through this law and then trying to pull out the critical thing which we can now talk to you so that you get a value proposition. I mean, like we can give you a proper value proposition and you benefit out of what we are going to talk to you. Right, so it took 2 days for you. Then for you people, if you just open and read it, probably it might take 2 hours because of your experience, because of your exposure. So there is an opportunity for you to now expand your client base, where you can now serve a person who is manufacturer and also a client who is providing services. Okay. That is because of the ease of the single compliance of law, domain and retail. See, you are all domain experts and learning law is cakewalk for all of you. right? And return filing is going to be common single. And you have to see this, how can you leverage the technology such that the technology will drive effectiveness and efficiency, resulting in catering to the more client that you would want to now expand your business. How do you see your business going to grow in the next 2 years, 4 years under the GST regime? Okay, so these are some of the things, and you need a technology tool. And I mean, my personal feeling, I feel that 100% outsourcing is like committing suicide under GST. I hope you will agree and you will realize this, right? 100% outsourcing is of the client is out of question. Okay, because you have to now build this competency for your people, your organization, whoever it is, because now you will have, there will be a high intensity touch with your client pre-GST, during GST, post-GST, right? See, because for everybody it takes 6 to 8 months to settle down, be it government, be it client, be it yourself. So your firm, I think we have covered most of it. Building competency of your people on GST compliance is very important. Client connect, how soon you are going to connect your client, and then how you are going to now give this message of being preparedness for GST such that both of your life is going to be rosy on 1st of April 2017. Very important. Okay? Then preparedness of your client towards transitioning into GST, which is your transition provision. Out of this 29 provisions, you need to now see which provision is going to be applicable. Most of the cases, in case of VAT, you have to make sure that last return that is filing the input tax credit that is claiming, how will you substantiate it? If you can do that, your life, I mean, you have done with your transition provision for some of your client, and that is not going to be the case for all the clients. So you will have to now go through this transition provision, and now you need to now start planning. Okay, which is the client that you need to put more effort, which is the client that you need to put less effort. This is exactly what you people are doing in your audit planning, right? Audit program you people are doing. You need to now do GST program, GST planning, very important. And very important is explore the best technology, adapt and align, right? Very important. What is the best technology? Today, just giving you as an example, don't take it otherwise. Today, let us say your client is using some ABC software, okay, and you are also comfortable with it, and tomorrow let us say that you see Tally, and then you now have this confidence because you are going to judge. These are the complications which are there, and Tally is giving me this thing, and then now it is good for you, and it is also nice of you to now recommend that to your client, saying that do this technology because you are going to benefit. You can also go home early, right? And my life is also going to be easy, and we will sleep peacefully on 10th, 15th and 20th. I don't have to worry, right? This is the technology. Which is the technology that is there? And it is very important for you people to see what is the best technology, because adoption, somebody is having Tally, not using it for VAT, how do you, and you can't go and change him to the XYZ software, and vice versa. So how do you, because these are all the big challenges, and these are something, when you take this decision and when you are planning and your processes are right, your life is going to become much easier and simpler during the GST regime. Then expansion of your business growth, right? Like sir was mentioning, right? So if I am now getting into this, what will happen to my other services that I am providing? Income tax, auditing, what am I going to do? Should I have to increase the staff? Is that the right way of is that the right decision to do it? Or should I increase the efficiency? Or should I use the best technology that is going to be available for me in GST? Very, very crucial and critical decision that you need to take. Okay. See, technology is the key. Now I think we would have understood why I have been harping from the beginning of the session saying that it is technology driven, technology is the hero, technology is the key. Without technology, we are dead. Okay? So technology is the key. Why? Because GST is transaction based technology driven compliance. Right? We have seen this. And this is going to be a pure B2BG, which means your data is going to now available on the portal, the GSTN portal. The GSTN portal, if you see the backbone or the infrastructure that the GSTN is creating, is the project is 1,300 crore project. Because if you see, the estimated is when the exemption, the threshold limit was 5 lakhs and 10 lakhs, the estimation was that somewhere between 6 to 8 million people will file their first return, right? And I was just attending one of the webinar of KPMG. So there one of the learned chartered accountant was saying the estimated number of invoices that every month the GSTN server is going to hold is 20 billion records. Okay, 1 month. And section 42 of GST law says that you have to preserve your books of account for 5 years. 20 billion into 60 months. Just imagine. Okay. You have to do the triangulation of your business records with GSTN. Continuously you will have to now keep doing the triangulation with your GSTN record. Any technology is that it should allow you to seamlessly detect, correct and ensure that you are compliant right from the configuration stage, at the recording stage, at the reconciliation at source. When I say reconciliation at source, within your books of account. Then you are now uploading it to the GSTN. Now it has gone public. Now you have to start reconciling with your other suppliers and your other purchasers. Right? Then you need to triangulate with the GSTN system, which is the portal itself. Okay. Success of GST, all of you play a very, very important role in success of the GST. Whether the government or anybody cannot go and reach this 6 million, 8 million people. If I reach this 100 people here in this room, right, we would have touched, let's say I am a government, then I mean as a government I would have touched easily about 60,000 clients, all of you put together, 60,000, 70,000 clients I could have touched, right. So I am saying that you play a very, very important, critical and crucial role, right, very important key role in ensuring that the clients are 100% compliant for GST. And how well are you going to make them prepared for GST is very important. Success of GST, your role for your client is going to be how are you going to educate, mentor your client and transition them seamlessly into the GST regime or make them prepared for facing the GST regime. Right? Then prepare themselves for transitioning, including discipline and maintaining of the books of account, which is what I just mentioned about it. Okay, guide them to completely leverage on the transitional provision. Once you know the transitional provision, poor guy, he will not know that I am eligible to take this input credit. So you need to guide him, and this is what basically the even 15-20,000 rupees that guy gets input tax credit, he is going to be gratefully thankful to all of you. Right? Guide them in their business process re-engineering, like for example service tax, what I was talking about. In the service tax, if he is providing services across India and the place of service, which is basically the one of the definition, there are 109 definition currently in the GST law. One of the definition talks about the fixed establishment. The supply is that from the place where you supply, and if that place is not registered under GST, then it is deemed to be a fixed establishment, and you need to have a GST registration as a fixed establishment. For what kind of services? There are different information about the services, you need to do it. So how will you guide them? How will you now guide them to now expand his business, or what are the other ways that you would suggest them, such that they are not caught in the GST cyclone? allow them to do the business. Because if they don't do business, your professional charge is also at risk. Right? Similarly, building competency of your client and their people, make them understand. You don't have to really do this 3 or 4 hour session. I'm saying that, I mean, like, there are a lot of things. Okay, and I also, I mean, like, I'll also just tell you, I mean, like, since it's coming to my, in any case, I'm going to cover that. We have started creating the blogs that address we have given. Start sharing with your client. Tell them that, see, we have made it very, very simple. Whatever we have spoken now, we are uploading this in a very simple format. What you have seen, this thing, everything we have uploaded. We have about 7 blogs we have already uploaded. You don't have to teach them. I will guarantee you, all 10 out of 10 people who is reading our blog that has been uploaded, he will understand what GST in a very, very simple way. That's a guarantee. I will give you this, our blog address. You can share it with them and ask them to start reading it. Let them just see, self-learning is the best learning, right? So let them start working on that. You can handhold them, guide them during the implementation and all those things. Guide them, very important, guide them in using the right technology to be completely compliant with GST. This is going to be the key. Okay, I think you, sir, you had asked, I think, that currently, I mean, Tally is not capturing the username, password because of the captcha and all those things. See, today, if you see, that is why, again, I made a statement earlier. Saying that, I mean, like, it's going to be a real B2BG technology, technology driven, I mean, like, B2B connect. There's going to be a real B2B connect. What is that B2B connect? Is basically, if you see this API, you people know about this API. It's called Application Program Interface, which is nothing but it is basically a link or a pipe or a conduit provided by the GST and now, okay, which is not currently available. Like, for example, you were saying some other software, even though captcha is there, it is allowing me to do it. That's a backdoor entry. Now the government, no software, captcha goes there, right? So now same captcha, whatever is there, with this API facility that the GSTN is going to provide to all the software provider, okay, you can see wonders that is going to happen, and whatever is the scare that I created in the last 2.5 hours, right, will reduce to at least 50%, 60%, provided you are on top of it. That's the power of this API. Okay. Now Tally's role, I think I will skip this, and definitely we will cover in the other session. It is still too early, but then see, one thing which we are saying is that we will be an ASP, which is application service provider for the GST system, right? Like I said, we are talking to the government on what is good for the thing. See, as a software company, we should feel very happy, right? More complicate the life of the businessman, good for the software company, right? We can make more money. But then we are struggling, saying that this is going to kill the small business. Please do something. Don't penalize this fellow because the seller is not paying the tax. And this is the recommendation that we have been taking. I think the next 2 days my CFO is going to go and meet the finance minister along with other tax professionals. I mean, we are doing a lot of things, right? So we want to ensure that the businesses are doing their business, what they are doing today. They are not going to do compliance business. Very important. That is very, very clear as our goal. So GSP is basically, again, if you see, is it's going to be a gateway, right? So we will lack of time, just leave that. So again, I'm saying we have already discussed about this. Prevention is better than cure, right? So what can we do today for tomorrow's readiness, right? So we have this, our current latest 5.4. People who have not seen it, my humble request is don't use it. My humble request is at least now start seeing from the lens of GST. You will start appreciating the kind of thing that has been built in the last 2 years in our latest product. Just have a look. Don't even recommend to your client. Just have a look. First, you should be convinced, because unless the person is not convinced, unless the person does not get a buy-in, you cannot generate a buy-in from somebody. Just see this from the lens of what we spoke in the last 3 hours. Okay? It's very easy. Triangulation report is there, which is going to tell you 100% of your books matching your report, right? So there are system assisted quick exception report that has been provided so that you can quickly go and correct it and upload it, right? So then various other things are there. So just go through it and okay, this I am just leaving it to all of you. Tally's technology, I'll be very honest. If Tally as a technology company has to succeed, it is only when you people succeed, because you are the guide, mentor and guru for your clients. You have to select. We are not forcing. I am saying that take the best judgment, take the right judgment and then see. So if you feel that Tally technology is going to be, we are very confident we are going to give the best ever technology experience in the last 30 years what Tally is not given. You will be amazed. You will be wondering, is this Tally? Is what is going to be there. That's all I can tell as of today. But then this is going to be fantastic, right? So what is the technology that we are going to do? If we have to succeed, you are very important to us, because we will be the technology partner for you, right? Such that you play an important role in providing your client the right technology for compliance, such that you will ensure not only the happiness of your client, but also you will play a very critical role in the success of GST and growth of our country. Okay. So under GST, these are the 3 statements. I thought I will make this as my ending statement. Government knows what is good for country, right? Tax experts like you know what is better for taxpayers. Tally knows that we will give the best technology for GST. Thank you very much.